Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we will learn regarding callouts and callouts methods and the name credentials. Okay, first learn about the callouts. So what is callouts? So when a callout uh, is like a apex when a apex pod makes a request to an external resource or endpoint outside of source code. So that request is called a callout. And why it is needed? Because we want to integrate with third party, like let's say we need to know about weather forecast, or we need to get news data, or let's say uh, any if we want to make any API call. Okay, so for that we make call out from Salesforce. So in case we need to get or post data from the APIs, so let's say in case of if you know about stock market, where we can set the order, so we can send API, we can call the APIs to hit the order, as well as we get the data, recent data, okay, whether our request is successful or not. So like that we can get or post our data. Post means, let's say if we want to update triggers, GTT trigger, order, so that is kind of post request. Okay, which means if any kind of request we make to external services or external endpoint, so we use a term callout in Salesforce. So what is HTTP callout? HTTP callout is used to send request. So we have three classes here to make HTTP callouts, to call external web service. First is HTTP. HTTP is, you can see this example. So using HTTP, I am initializing the request and I am sending this HTTP. I am sending the request using HTTP class. Sending means, if you see, I have initialized HTTP here and here I am sending the request using HTTP. Okay. Now my request will be in HTTP request. So HTTP request is used to construct the request. That means I will set my endpoint, my method, or if there is a body, I will set that as well. Okay. So in HTTP request, I will construct my request, and HTTP response, I will get the response from the endpoint. So here using HTTP class, I am calling HTTP request and I am getting the response in HTTP response class. Okay. Here I am printing my response. Now if we talk about callouts methods, so in Salesforce we have four methods. Get is to retrieve data from external service. Post is to create the data. So using post we will send the request with body to the external service, and using put or patch we will update the data, and using delete we will remove the data from external web service. Okay. Now let's take an example of post request. Here using post we are passing endpoint header, means our data will be in JSON. This is our JSON set in a body, and this is our request which we are sending to the external service. Okay. Now post, we are making post. That means we are sending data to the external service, so that external service will create will create the record. Okay. So using post we will create record Okay, the same we can use get to get the data and put and patch to update the data and delete to remove the data, remove or delete. Okay, now named credentials. So first of all, we will know why name credential is necessary. So name credential simplifies the endpoint. Let's say here you are making call in the above here. If we use the here we are using endpoint, but if we use the endpoint, then we just need to give the call out colon and then like this, call out colon and name of the name credential. Okay, so that means we don't need any hard coding credential in Apex if we use name credentials, because in this case, if we have any authentication key or any code, that also we will need to send in the request. But if we use name credential, we will authorize using name credential in the setup, and while calling we don't need any setup, we will just call. Okay, we don't need any hard coding credential in Apex 10. Okay, and how to create name credential? You need to go to setup, then security, and the name credential. There you need to configure the URL, this URL that you need to configure, and then you need to provide the authentication details, like how you want to authenticate. Okay, so creating name credential is out of scope. Here I will just telling you means how you can, if you want to know in detail regarding name credential, just put your comment. I will create a video separately for how we can create name credential. But in this video, I am just telling you why name credential is necessary and how we can call name credential. Okay. Now, consideration and best practices regarding callouts. So callout must be made from asynchronous context or directly triggers using these future annotation callout equal to true. Okay. So the method where we are using callout, so it will have this annotation future and callout equal to true. Okay. And our callout, if our callout is being made from asynchronous method, then only we need to use it this. Okay, means then it's necessary to use like this. Okay, otherwise optional. And we need to use respect Gondor limits, means we can call only 100 callouts per transaction, otherwise we will get error. And we should use we should handle timeouts and error codes properly. Okay, sometimes we have timeout limits as well while making callouts. Some provide 120 seconds, few provide 10 seconds, because if within we don't get the response, timeout will fail. So we need to handle that properly. And for testing, for test class purpose, we should use test.setMock with the HTTP callout mock. Okay, so this is how we can test callout. So in while testing callouts, Salesforce doesn't allow you to make a real HTTP callout in text context. So in that case, we need to use this set.mac with the HTTP callout mock like this. You need to call like this in Apex. So this class you need to create yourself. If you have any difficulty in creating this class, please let me know. I will create a video on that also. Okay. This is how we can create this mock class. But this is the way to make call out instead of making real call out. Okay. And in case you need anything, means you need difficulty in understanding this concept, please let me know. I will provide this session in detail with you. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.